As you can see, I'm at the famous Shibuya Crossing here in Tokyo. Earlier today, I was traveling with family, but they have other plans and had to fly out of Japan first. And now I have about 10 days to explore Japan on my own, which I have never done before. When traveling in a group, there are always schedules to keep. The group has to keep moving and you can miss out on those spontaneous moments. So for the next 10 days, I am going to solo travel my way and visit some destinations that are interesting to me. And hopefully for you guys watching, I don't really have a plan or schedule, so I'll have the chance to stop and explore things along the way and see where the journey takes me. My flight out of Japan is from Osaka. I'll probably explore Tokyo for a few more days before making my way down to Kyoto and then finally to Osaka. If I want to explore Japan in a way to see more things, I want to find a way to move around more efficiently and not necessarily always by train. We all know the subway system in Japan is very efficient, but if I want to see more of Japan, I'll need to be above ground. So I'm going to do a lot of exploring using Japan's bicycle sharing networks. Don't get me wrong, I'll still take trains on occasions, but if I can cycle to a destination, I get to stop and see those random things along the way that I would not have been able to if I was sitting in a train. It can take a bit longer to get to a destination, but on this solo trip, reaching a destination on a schedule was never the plan. Shibuya is an endless blend of fashion, food, and pop culture, and as the sun sets and the neon lights flicker on, this part of Tokyo truly comes alive. For the rest of today, I'll keep it easy, exploring more Shibuya before starting the first full day of my solo trip. I'm just a short walk from the Parco shopping mall, which is home to flagship stores like Capcom, Nintendo, and the Pokemon Center, so I'll make my way there and take a look around. For those who followed my channel, you know I post a lot of walking tour videos. A couple of nights ago, I recorded an evening walk through Shibuya, and I'll add the link to that video here and in the description below. Tonight, I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to record a stationary video of the Shibuya Scramble Crossing, capturing the buzzing crowd amongst the neon lights. So for those of you missing Shibuya or Tokyo, you can put that stationary video on and let yourself be immersed in the energy of the city from wherever you are. But for now, let's wander around Shibuya.
I'm about to prove you are wrong. Space is within us all. With my supersonic watch, adventures ahead. A supersonic watch, spinning in my head. A supersonic watch, yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, that's what they said. A supersonic watch, really? Just watch, just watch, just watch. It's supersonic. It's only for tonight. Just watch, just watch, just watch, just watch. Supersonic. It's only for tonight, and it'll be a guide, and I will be here right by your side. Only for tonight, we're at the speed of light. It's supersonic. Twilight, a new surprise as we spin in the night.
I could have spent hours and a whole lot of cash in those stores, but after checking out the Capcom store, it gave me an idea. I haven't stepped into a gaming arcade in such a long time, and since they're such a huge part of Japan's entertainment culture, I thought I'd check them out. Many arcades are multi-floor playgrounds filled with everything from the retro classics to the most cutting-edge games. One of the biggest draws are the claw machines. Many tourists and locals come and try their luck. And yes, sometimes you do get lucky. I wasn't expecting that one to flip over. Sometimes the prizes get stuck on their way down. When that happens, you can call on the staff and they will help you out. That one was a keeper. I always find time ticks by quickly in these kind of places with so many flashing lights and sounds competing for your attention. It was starting to get dark outside, and I remembered I still wanted to record a stationary video tonight, so I made my way towards the crossing.
Twilight, a new surprise as we spin in the night into the light. No time, just an ocean of light. Hold on to me tight, hold on to me tight. With my supersonic watch, adventures ahead. The supersonic watch, spinning in my head. The supersonic watch, yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, that's what they
The crossing was packed with people. At night here, the energy is different with the neon lights. After weaving through the crowds, I finally found a spot to set up my camera and record the stationary video. I'll leave a link to that video for those who are interested.
It's only for tonight, and it'll be a guide, and I will be here by your side. Only for tonight, we're at the speed of light. It's supersonic.
With the stationary video wrapped up, I was getting pretty hungry. Now that I'm traveling solo, I was hoping that it would be easier for me to get a seat for one person inside the popular restaurants around here. So I packed up my gear and searched on my phone for restaurants where I was located with good reviews. I found a yakitori restaurant called Torotake that was just 5 minutes from here, and with plenty of great reviews. Thought I'd check it out and see if I can get a seat. Walking through the city, you can see people enjoying themselves, and the brilliant lights of Shibuya just lifts your mood. When I reached the restaurant, it was busy, but luckily I was able to get a seat for one straight away as I'd hoped. From the street, Torotake stands out with its traditional wooden storefronts. Through the front windows, you can see the chefs at work, smoke rising from the charcoal grills as skills of yakitori sizzle away. The combination of its old school charm and the inviting haze makes the whole place feel nostalgic, and I can't wait to try their food.
Thank you. Yep.
It was a hot summer night in Tokyo, and an ice cold beer was the perfect way to start the meal. Torotake has a large selection of dishes, and I later learned that grilled eel is one of the most popular dishes. I didn't try it this time, but it gives me a good reason to come back. I started with some vegetable dishes. The Mayoga ginger with miso paste wasn't spicy at all. It had a light crunch with a refreshing taste. And as I mentioned earlier, this place is known for its generous portions. When the chicken cutlets arrived, I was surprised by just how many pieces came on the plate. Overall, it was a fantastic meal, and next time I'll definitely try their eel dishes. By the time I left around 10 o'clock, a line had formed outside. I was glad I managed to grab a seat earlier, around 9 PM, without waiting. I snapped up some more photos for the travel album, and then decided to head back to the hotel and call it a night. Tomorrow marks the first full day of my solo trip, and I can't wait to see what's ahead. This morning, I have to check out the Shibuya hotel that my family was staying in. This place has great views of the city, as you can see from these time lapses. Now that I'm solo traveling, I've decided to rough it a little as I'm traveling a bit lighter and carrying less luggage. I'm going to try a collection of capsule hotels for this solo adventure, just to make it a little interesting. I have never stayed in a capsule hotel before, so I'm not sure what to expect. I managed to line up a couple different capsule hotels for my remaining time in Tokyo. Then as I make my way down to Kyoto and Osaka, I will be staying in capsule hotels there too. Let's hope I didn't overdo it with the capsule accommodation, seeing that I've never been to one before. So for those of you watching who are curious on what it is like traveling solo in Japan and capsule hopping, well, this video is for you. Right now it's about 6:30 in the morning and the sun is well and truly up, being summer here in Japan. One thing about getting up this early is you'll find most shops or attractions here don't open until much later in the morning. After a bit of searching, I did find something that is opening shortly, and it's a very popular place to grab your morning coffee. So popular in fact, I think it is the most highest rated cafe in Tokyo, with over 12,000 reviews and averaging an impressive 4.5 stars.
Can you guess what it is? If you think you know, feel free to drop your guesses in the comments below without peeking further in the video.
I'll give you a clue, I'm not counting maid cafes in this quiz. To get to this place, it is around a 10-minute cycle, so the next step is to find my ride and make my way there. There are several bicycle sharing networks across Japan, and for this trip I decided to try Loop. They actually have electric bikes or e-bikes in their fleet, and they also offer e-scooters, though for now I'm sticking with their e-bikes. Just behind the hotel there is a Loop parking station where there is an e-bike available, so I'm just heading over to it now. What I like about Loop is how user-friendly it is. The app supports English, the bikes are newer in design, and depending on the terrain, on a full charge, they can travel up to a distance of 28 miles or 45 kilometers. Getting started is fairly straightforward. Just download the Loop app on your phone, register your details, and link your credit card. From there, you can use the app to locate available bikes at nearby Loop stations and select where you'd like to return the bike. To help make things even clearer, I've put together a short video walking through the rental and return process, which I'll link here. Each bike comes equipped with a phone holder, basket, lock, front light, and a bell. Once unlocked, you're ready to ride, and since it's an e-bike, even heels feel effortless. This is exactly what I was after to explore the city more efficiently. I have to say, once I started cycling, I felt that sense of freedom with being able to zip around. Particularly with it being an e-bike, I felt I could really cover a lot of ground quickly. After that brief ride, we have reached the Loop parking station that's around the corner to this mystery cafe. Let's see if he guessed the name of this mystery cafe correctly. Well done to those who guessed the Starbucks Reserve Roastery here in Nakameguro. It's a 4-story roastery that was designed by Japanese architect Kengo Kuma. It is the only Starbucks Reserve Roastery built from scratch, rather than adapted from an existing building. In one central area, there's a tall copper roaster system rising through the multiple levels. These are transported via copper pipes throughout the roastery. They offer over 100 unique coffee and tea beverages, some exclusive to this roastery. The premises also includes Japan's first princely Italian bakery, offering artisan breads and pastries. I had a croissant with my coffee and it was a perfect pairing. If you are in the area, I would definitely recommend this place. I arrived just before 8 AM on a Thursday, and as you can see, there's plenty of space, though I can imagine this place getting much busier as the day goes on. If you can make it early, like I did, it's a great spot to start your day. While enjoying my breakfast at the roastery, I was searching on my phone on what my next stop could be. I was thinking of checking out some stalls around Harajuku, but it was still fairly early and the shops were not open yet. After zooming out on the map around Harajuku, I spotted something that I haven't been before but is definitely open. Before leaving, I headed upstairs and stepped outside to take in one last view from the roastery. Then I was off to grab a bike to cycle to the next destination.
You and me, just a walk in the park where the world fades, and we're leaving our marks. They try to hold me down, tear me apart, but with you, baby, nothing seems so hard. They said I'd never make it, that I lost my spark, but your love, small compass, guiding me through the dark. Stumble and trip, yeah, I made a mess, but with you, every day's like this.
I've arrived at Harajuku Station, which is right next to the Meiji Jingu Gion, the inner garden of the Meiji Shrine. The garden covers about 83,000 square meters, or almost 900,000 square feet. Since I had some time before the shops around Harajuku opened, I decided to walk a loop of the garden, which includes a stop by the Meiji Shrine. I also filmed a walking video while I was there, and I'll link the details of that video.
Just a walk in the park, just a walk in the park, like a picnic in the sun. Let's make a mark, like a rock in the dark. I'm not your trophy, I'm not your prize, but with you, baby, I see through the lies. You don't try to change me, you let me be, and that's the kind of love that sets me free.
After that stroll through the garden, I am now back at Harajuku Station. Just steps away is Takashita Street, a pedestrian-only boulevard that is the heart of the Harajuku's youth culture, packed with bold fashion, kawaii shops, streetwear, and quirky subculture boutiques.
Don't just listen to these songs and think that you got grease. They just lyrics. I be venting to this mic, it's therapy. You could leave, but them other guys is whack, they not me. Godspeed, sweetie, living out my dreams. I don't need a genie. Pops did Madonna shows, music in my blood, it was destined for me. Way before I even seen a CD. Cross the wrong line, you gon' need a treaty. Peace is a lie, there is only passion. And through passion I get stronger. Long days working on getting better, but they only get longer. Getting there is half the battle, staying there is
Not far from Takeshita Street is Cat Street, another popular shopping area that connects Harajuku to Shibuya. Cat Street has a more relaxed vibe, lined with fashion-forward boutiques, vintage stores, and creative concept shops. I also recorded a walking video of these shopping streets and the surrounding area. I'll link that video too.
Legacy behind. Yeah, you know that I'll always fight for what is mine. I'm working hard to leave a legacy behind.
yeah.
After all that walking, I was starting to get pretty hungry. I was searching for a spot to have lunch and came across a ramen restaurant in Harajuku called Barcelona. With plenty of good online reviews, I figured it was worth a try. It's a cozy little spot, and I ended up ordering their chilled green curry ramen. Since it was a hot day, it seemed like a good fit, but the real reason I chose it was because I noticed a local ordering the same dish. He placed his order quickly and confidently, so I figured, why not try what the locals recommend? It turned out to be pretty tasty. The noodles had a nice chew to it, and the dish was quite fragrant. It's not a dish where you would slurp up this soup at the end, as it was a bit rich for me to do that, but eating it with the noodles had a nice balance. After lunch, I wandered around the area for a little more before checking into the first capsule hotel. The Millennials Shibuya is a capsule hotel that is situated centrally within Shibuya amongst all the shops. The check-in is fairly straightforward. They will point out where the facilities are, including the toiletries and towels. I was in a mixed gender pod and it was a fairly clean and simple setup, as you can see. There is storage under your bed to place your belongings, but just keep in mind there are no locks for the capsule. However, there is a safe available to secure small items. The toilet and shower facilities were pretty well kept, and there's also a coin-operated washing machine and dryer if you needed to do a wash. Overall, it was a pretty nice introduction for a capsule stay.
I decided to freshen up using their facilities and had a little rest before I cycled out for dinner later. This evening, I did actually make a reservation at an izakaya restaurant that's about 10 kilometers or 6.5 miles north of Shibuya. For those of you who post a lot of photos of Tokyo or are photography enthusiasts, you'll be familiar with the Yonami Fish Bar. Well, tonight we'll be up close as I have a seat booked at the counter. Tonight, I'm hoping to mingle with some locals at the Yonami Fish Bar. At one of the hotels I stayed in earlier, I asked the concierge if they can make a reservation for me over the phone. Fortunately, a seat was available, so I'll get a chance to check it out. For those of you watching who are not familiar with the name of this popular restaurant, you might realize what I'm referring to as we get a bit closer. On many evenings, you'll find lots of photographers standing on the overpass above me, taking photos of this restaurant. But for tonight, we're gonna step in and take a look inside. Inside the restaurant, it was cozy but very welcoming. They didn't have an English menu, but I managed to get a plate of sashimi come my way. I struck up a conversation with some other diners who recommended some dishes. The food was fantastic, and I would definitely recommend dining here. The chef discovered I was traveling solo in Japan, and through using translation apps, we managed to communicate. He was a really nice guy and asked if I was worried about traveling on my own. I let him know that I felt Japan was very safe to travel solo. Before leaving, I told the chef next time I will bring friends along to dine in. After leaving the restaurant, I cycled back towards Shibuya. On the way, I passed through Kabukicho, and when I came across the neon-lit torii gates, I noticed a lot of people stopping by to take photos of this iconic landmark. So before calling it a night, I decided to do a stationary video of the gates, which I'll link here. This morning, I headed down to the common area of the capsule hotel to take a look around at their facilities. It was around 6:30 in the morning and I had the whole place to myself. Today, I'll be making my way to Shinjuku, where my next capsule hotel experience continues at the Book and Bed Capsule Hotel. Check-in isn't until later in the afternoon, but I plan to drop my bags off there first before starting the day from Shinjuku. To keep the morning Starbucks tradition going one more time, I'm walking into the Shinjuku Gion National Garden, where coincidentally there is a Starbucks with beautiful views overlooking the greenery. After that walk, it will be around mid-morning where all the other stores will start to open. I was thinking to explore the area around Shimokitazawa, which has a reputation of being a trendy and laid-back neighborhood. I have never visited that area before, so I'll cycle over there later today to check it out. But for now, I have to make my way to Shinjuku. Since I am bringing my belongings with me, I will have to catch a train to the next capsule hotel. The Book and Bed Capsule Hotel is situated in a very central location in Shinjuku. It is surrounded by entertainment and food options all around. It is located in level 8 of this building, and to access the hotel, you have to go up these lifts. Once you reach the 8th floor, it opens straight into the check-in desk. After dropping off my bags, I headed back down to the street level and onto the Shinjuku Gion National Garden. There is so much to see in Shinjuku, and so I decided to start recording a walking video from central Shinjuku all the way into the National Garden where the Starbucks was located. I'll link the details of that walking video. Along the way, I passed by this huge queue of people. I still don't know what they were queuing for. It just kept going and going. I felt sorry for the guy holding up the tape. Then I noticed that he wasn't alone and there was a team of people holding it up. If anyone knows what this could be, please comment below. By the time I reached the entrance to the garden, the timing was perfect. It was just about to open. Much like the Meiji Jingu Gion, this place felt like another peaceful oasis in the middle of the city. If you're looking for a peaceful walk amongst nature in the middle of Tokyo, I would recommend this place.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out on a walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement.
This Starbucks opened in March 2020 and became the first private company store allowed inside the Shinjuku Gion National Garden. There are seats near the entrance of the Starbucks, but it is the seats at the back where the floor-to-ceiling glass windows overlooking the garden that people really come here for. On a hot summer day like this, it is a perfect spot to grab a cold drink and enjoy the landscape.
Understand the meaning on a new degree.
After soaking in the view over the garden, it was time to find my next bike and head towards Shimokitazawa. It's about a 30-minute ride from here, and for anyone who loves independent fashion, vintage shops, cozy cafes, and live music venues, this neighborhood is definitely worth a visit. Strolling through Shimokitazawa, I noticed there were plenty of vintage clothing stores. Not something I usually shop for, but good to know in case I ever want to pick up a classic piece. After exploring the stores around Shimokitazawa for a while, I started to look for a spot to grab lunch and maybe a little treat afterwards. One of the trendy places that caught my eye was the Brooklyn Roasting Company Cafe. It had a relaxed vibe, perfect for a break.
Wonder how much I wrote down, you never broke down. My back used to be up against walls, it's on the ropes now. Fighting for that feeling we had in your Laredo. Back when you saw the thorns on my crown, more like
Their coffee was rich and aromatic. I ordered the spaghetti, which was perfectly al dente with a generous portion. Definitely a place I'd come back to again. As for the treat I mentioned earlier, about a 5-minute cycle from here is the Shirohige Cream Puff Factory. It's the only official bakery in the world licensed by Studio Ghibli to produce Totoro-shaped cream puffs. The bakery's founder is the sister-in-law of Hayao Miyazaki, granting them the permission to use Totoro designs. The cream puffs tasted nice, but obviously it is the design of the puffs that draws people here. That was a fun little stop. It was still too early to check into the book and bed Kabukicho hotel, so I had a little bit of time to kill. And I think I know exactly how to spend it. Batting centers are a popular pastime across Japan, blending sports, entertainment, and a bit of social fun. I've made my way to the Shinjuku batting center. The process here is pretty straightforward. Find an open cage, grab a bat, pop in some coins, and start swinging. After a few swings and misses, and clipping a few balls, I really wanted to have one swing that really hit the sweet spot. That one was pretty sweet. And now I'm ready to check into the book and bed capsule hotel.
Was sleeping in these studios and waking up at 7. Took the train to college. One semester was enough. I told my mom I got a different plan. I know that she was worried, but I kept my promise. Got the coins coming in once I checked the Sonics.
One thing I really liked about this place is its calm, relaxed atmosphere. Books and magazines are scattered throughout the hotel, inviting you to pick one up and settle in for a quiet read. That said, privacy is somewhat limited. The sleeping capsules are separated only by these black curtains and open directly into the shared reading area. So you might step out and find yourself face to face with guests enjoying a novel nearby. The shower facilities are simple and functional, though it's worth noting that there's no washing machine on site. If you need to do laundry, you'll have to walk to a nearby coin-operated laundromat. As mentioned earlier, the location of this hotel is very convenient. You're right in the heart of Shinjuku, so if you're out late enjoying the nightlife, it's only a short walk back to the hotel. Right next door is Kabukicho Tower, with plenty of shopping and food options. I'm planning to grab a bite there tonight before heading out to explore Shinjuku and Kabukicho, capturing the evening atmosphere with another walking video which I'll share the link to.
Even if I have to travel to the middle of Earth, I always been a man of my word. You don't even keep your word to your mans. Probably tweaking off the perks and the Zans. All that flaky shit I don't understand. I built a world with some friends and they turned to my fam. 1 band, 10 bands, 50 bands. Always been 100 since before I touched 100 grand. We ain't crabs in a bucket, we eat some crab from the motherland. Boats on the coast of Positano with my brothers, man. This shit got deep and I'm just thankful y'all along for the ride. Other guys turn to frauds in my eyes. Times were tough but we ain't changing the side. Not every angel has to die, some of us still alive, we gotta fly. I wasn't fine but I'm always showing up on time. Put that on mine. Ay, been through the grind since my hands was to the sky. I'd be damned if I don't fly. Ay, I wasn't fine but I'm always showing up on time. Put that on mine. I'll be damned if I don't fly.
Today, I'll be taking the bullet train to Kyoto, a leg of the trip I've been really looking forward to. There's so much to see there. Ancient temples, century-old neighborhoods, and nature reserves. Tokyo has been amazing, and one of the highlights for me was cycling around the city. I used to rely entirely on the subway, but now that I've discovered how bike-friendly Tokyo is. Speaking of trains, before I make my way to catch the Shinkansen to Kyoto, I'll need to get some breakfast. Just a couple minutes from here, there is an Ichiran ramen restaurant. This place is designed for solo dining. You can place a custom order with noodle firmness, broth richness, and toppings without speaking to anyone. The ramen is very popular with its rich, creamy pork bone broth. It really hit the spot. With breakfast done, I headed back to the hotel to finish packing, check out, and catch the subway to the Shinkansen terminal. On the way, I came across a group of volunteers getting ready to clean up the streets of Shinjuku. It's great to see that kind of community spirit. Before boarding the bullet train, I decided to grab some food for the ride. The station sells beautifully packaged bento boxes and traditional Japanese treats. There's so much to choose from. In the end, I went with the peach jelly and this bento box. It was all very tasty. The Shinkansen ride from Tokyo to Kyoto took just a little over 2 hours. It was a very comfortable ride, and as the train sped through the countryside, the view constantly shifted, which reminded me why the journey is as enjoyable as the destination itself. Before I knew it, we were already pulling into Kyoto Station.
Stepping out into the city, my first stop was to head over to my next stay, the Tsukimi Hotel, a capsule hotel located in Kyoto's Gion district on the eastern side of the city. It was still a bit early to check in, so I dropped off my luggage at the hotel and then headed out to start exploring Kyoto. While exploring Gion, I came across a Ghibli store and couldn't resist picking up a bobblehead blind box. I'm curious to see which character I'll get. I gradually made my way toward Nishiki Market from Gion and filmed a walking tour there. I'll add the link to that video. Along the way, I spotted a crane standing gracefully in one of the canals that runs through the city. At first I thought I was lucky to catch a glimpse of wildlife in such an urban area, but then I saw the same bird again the next day. I'm guessing someone's been feeding it and it keeps returning to the same spot. Nishiki Market is known as Kyoto's Kitchen. It's a 400-meter covered street packed with over 100 stalls selling everything from fresh seafood and pickles to sweets and handmade knives. With over 400 years of history, many family-run shops here have been passed down for generations, making it the perfect place to taste authentic Kyoto flavors, pick up local crafts, and experience the city's vibrant food culture. It was time to head back to the Tsukimi Hotel and freshen up. I was staying in a mixed-gender dormitory and the capsules here were clean, comfortable, and well-designed. There's a separate locker area for your belongings and the shower facilities were neat and functional. The hotel also has washing machines on the rooftop, and while you're up there, you can enjoy a great view over the Gion district. After a short rest, I headed out to look for dinner. Gion is full of amazing little eateries hidden in narrow alleyways, and I stumbled upon a unique spot that caught my eye. A noodle bar that uses emojis both in its signage and on its menu to represent different dishes. The place is called Gion Duck Noodles. It's a cozy little shop with limited seating, so I had a short wait. But it was absolutely worth it. The noodles were delicious, rich, flavorful, and comforting. I'll definitely come back here again. With dinner done, I made my way down to the Kamo River. On warm summer evenings, the riverside comes alive. Locals and travelers gather to enjoy live music, open-air dining, and the gentle evening breeze. I also filmed a walking video along the Kamo River that continues on to the Yasaka Shrine. Along the way, I passed through Poncho Alley, one of Kyoto's most atmospheric streets, especially in the evenings. If you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a geisha or maiko walking to an engagement. I didn't see one this time, but maybe next time.
Today is going to involve quite a bit of walking. It's my first full day in Kyoto, and I'm planning to visit two of the city's main attractions on the eastern side of the city. First up is Kiyomizu-dera, one of Kyoto's most iconic temples and an absolute must-see. Perched on a hillside, it offers sweeping panoramic views over the city and is surrounded by beautiful historic streets. The second stop will be Fushimi Inari Taisha, also known as the Shrine of 1,000 Gates, where I'll be exploring the famous red torii paths that wind up the mountain. I'll be recording walking videos for both attractions. The Kiyomizu-dera video will start from the Yasui Konpirigu Shrine, home to the well-known Inkiri and Musubi stone. I'll also be switching hotels today, checking out of the Tsukimi Hotel and into my second capsule stay here in Kyoto, the Glancet Hotel. But before kicking off the day, it's time to grab some breakfast. When visiting Japan, you should definitely try some of the food and snacks from their convenience stores. This morning we are going with pancakes and a fruit smoothie from 7-Eleven. The smoothies here are self-serve. Once you have purchased your frozen cup of fruit, pop it into the in-store blender and mix it yourself. With breakfast sorted, it's time to head to our first location. Here we have the Inkiri and Musubi stone. It is a famous spiritual spot to help people cut bad ties and form good ones. Visitors write their wishes on a paper charm and then crawl through the stone's circular hole. Crawling from the front to back will form or strengthen positive relationships, or from back to front to break away from negative ones. The ritual is thought to channel the stone's spiritual energy, and over time the area has become covered with thousands of paper wishes. Today, I'll go from the back to the front to shake off any negative energy. Now that we're all feeling better, let's make our way to Kiyomizu-dera. Like most shrines in Japan, this one sells charms for all kinds of purposes. Good luck, academic success, safe travels, and more. With all the walking and cycling I'll be doing on this trip, I decided to pick up a charm for healthy legs and feet. I've been nursing a couple of blisters at this point, so hopefully this charm will help keep me going. After finishing up Kiyomizu-dera, I found a nearby loop station with a bike available and started cycling towards Fushimi Inari Taisha, which was about a 15-minute ride. I found Kyoto surprisingly easy to get around by bike. The streets are calm and well connected, making it a great way to explore. When I arrived, the entrance was buzzing with tourists eager to see the famous Shrine of 1,000 Gates.
It was an incredibly hot day, and if you've seen my walking video, at around 1 hour, 32 minutes and 29 seconds into the video, you'll spot a single vending machine standing in the middle of nowhere. After walking for hours under the sun, I was so tempted to stop recording and grab an ice cold drink, but I pushed on to finish the video. Still, at that moment, a cold drink would have been heaven. After exploring both attractions, I was getting really hungry. I came across Cafe Inari that was near where I had ended the walking video, so I went in and it did not disappoint. I ordered their set meal, which came with a variety of small dishes, each offering its own unique flavor and texture. Everything was beautifully presented and incredibly tasty. If you're visiting the shrine and looking for something authentic and satisfying nearby, I definitely recommend checking this place out. It was now time to head back towards Gion and check into the Glancet Hotel for my second capsule experience in Kyoto. Along the way, I took a more scenic route along the Kame River. The Glancet Hotel felt noticeably more modern than the previous capsule hotels I've stayed in. It has a spacious locker area, clean shower facilities, and even a washing machine. Always a bonus when traveling. The hotel is surrounded by plenty of shops and restaurants, so I decided to head out and find some dinner. I came across an unagi restaurant called Kayukoji Idogawa. The reviews looked great, so I gave it a try. I grabbed a seat at the counter and started with a cold beer before trying the eel back and eel belly skewers, followed by a grilled eel on rice. It turned out to be another fantastic meal in Japan. Really enjoyed that one. I still had some room for dessert and stumbled across a popular donut store, Koi Donuts. I went with the original plain donut and the Kyoto matcha chocolate donut. The plain one was light and not dry at all, while the matcha donut had a soft, crumbly texture. Both were a great way to end the evening. I did some more exploring around the area and even made my way to Poncho Alley again, as it was very close to the hotel. I didn't spot a geisha this time either, but took some pictures before heading back to the hotel to rest up. Tomorrow is going to be an early start, I think. It's about 3:30 in the morning, and today I'm getting an early start to make my way to the Arashiyama Bamboo Forest, hoping to experience it before the crowds arrive. The only catch? It's all the way on the west side of Kyoto, while I'm still staying in Gion over on the east. So I'll need to make my way across the city, and of course, the best way to get there is by bike. I quietly got ready, careful not to wake up the other guests, and slipped out of the capsule to start the day. There was a loop station about 15 minutes away with a bike available, so I made my way there. But not before grabbing a quick breakfast from 7-Eleven. Pancakes and a smoothie, my reliable go-to combo for early mornings. On the way to the bike, I was thinking that I can start the ride from Sananzaka Path near Yasaka Pagoda and record a full cycling video from there all the way to the Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. The distance was about 12 kilometers or roughly 5 miles. A fun ride across Kyoto at dawn. I'll share the link to that video as well. What I didn't realize at the time was just how rough the pavement along the Sananzaka Path would be. It made for a seriously bumpy ride, and the camera was shaking all over the place. The vibrations were so strong that the bike-mounted camera holder actually snapped off while I was riding, so that plan didn't quite work out. Luckily, I had a head mount as a backup and was able to keep recording from there. Once I reached the bottom of Sananzaka, the road smoothed out and the ride across Kyoto from east to west became a much more enjoyable journey. When I arrived at the Arashiyama Bamboo Forest, it was almost completely empty, just the way I'd hoped. A few other early risers had the same idea, though to my surprise, I discovered that you can actually drive through the main walkway of the forest. One visitor had parked his car among the bamboo to capture some photos. I'm sure he got a few stunning shots. Since I arrived so early, before most attractions and shops had opened, I decided to set up and record a stationary video of the forest. I thought it made a peaceful background video, perfect for anyone who wants to feel like they are waking up in the middle of the bamboo grove. I'll link that video here as well. After finishing the stationary video recording, I headed down toward the Katsuura River. It's such a beautiful, relaxing spot, and even better, there's an Arabica coffee shop right by the water. After such an early start, I definitely needed a caffeine boost, so I grabbed an iced coffee. The next stop on my journey was heading north towards Otagi Nenbutsuji Temple. While researching unique and lesser-known spots around Arashiyama, I came across this fascinating temple. Famous for its 1,200 stone rakan statues, each with a different expression, pose, or accessory. No two are alike. That definitely ticked my unusual things to see box, so I was excited to check it out and see what else I might find along the way. This restaurant with the moss-covered roof looked like it has been here for centuries. I took a couple of pictures and then had to make it up this small hill to reach the temple. I've got to say, at this stage, it was a struggle to cycle. I thought maybe the early morning start and cycling across the city was starting to catch up with me and making me a bit tired. Though I found out later that wasn't exactly the reason. Eventually, I made it to the top where the temple stood quietly nestled among the trees. I parked my bike, caught my breath, and stepped inside to explore. Once inside, I was immediately greeted by rows of rakan statues, each one with a different face, expression, or gesture. As I wandered deeper into the temple grounds, the statues seemed to appear everywhere, scattered among the trees. It was such a fascinating experience, walking through this sea of stone figures, each bursting with personality and charm. These statues were created under the guidance of Kocho Nishimura, the temple's head priest. He was both a Buddhist monk and a skilled sculptor. He also crafted a beautiful statue of Karan Bodhisattva, accompanied by a heartfelt message explaining that he made it especially for the visually impaired. While most temples ask visitors to only look at sacred works, Nishimura encourages people to pray for healing and gently touch the part of the statue that corresponds to their own ailment. What a thoughtful gesture. I placed my hand on the statue's legs, hoping for strength to keep going on this solo journey. On my way out, I went to unlock my bike, but it wouldn't start. I tried it several times, and the app kept flashing a failed to unlock message. I reached out to the Loop's online support through the app, and to their credit, they were very helpful. It turned out the e-bike's battery was completely dead, which explained why it couldn't connect, and why the uphill ride earlier had been such a struggle. I guess running across the city and around Arashiyama on a single charge probably wasn't going to be enough power. My tip for those who are thinking of doing this cycle is to switch out for another bike just before reaching Arashiyama. Since the bike couldn't be moved to the nearest station, as it was a 90-minute walk away, they kindly allowed me to leave it at the temple. There were a few taxis nearby, but I decided to walk back towards Arashiyama instead. I wasn't in a rush, and the peaceful scenery made it the perfect way to wrap up the morning. As I started seeing more people around, I knew I was getting close to central Arashiyama. With the heat climbing again, I treated myself to a refreshing iced tea and matcha parfait at X Cafe. It was a nice way to cool off from the heat outside. Since there were no loop station nearby, I eventually grabbed a taxi to the nearest one and picked up another bike. On my ride back toward Gion, I made a stop at the Shimabara Emon Gate, the grand entrance to what was once Kyoto's historic Shimabara district. Established in 1640 as the city's red light and entertainment quarter, it later evolved into a geisha district before gradually fading out by the 1970s. While most of the old district has vanished, the Shimabara Gate still stands proudly today. Nearby, you'll find two preserved tea houses, Sumiya and Ochigaya, where geishas once entertained prominent guests, including samurais and politicians. After a long day of cycling and exploring, I returned to the hotel to freshen up before heading out for dinner. I was craving something hearty, and after a quick online search, I came across Gyukatsu Kyoto Katsugyu, a place specializing in crispy crumb steak set meals. It had an incredible 4.8 star rating with nearly 8,000 reviews, so I knew I had to try it. I grabbed a counter seat right in front of the cutting station. By this point, I was starving, and the sound of the chef slicing through that crispy crust was pure music to my ears. You also get a little grill to give each slice an even more crispier sear to your liking. Each bite was perfectly tender, and with several different sauces to choose from, each flavor was spot on. Before I knew it, I was on my last piece, and I could easily see why this place earns such high praise. I would recommend trying it if you ever find yourself in Kyoto. Today, I'm checking out of the Glancet Hotel and moving on to my third and final capsule hotel stay here in Kyoto, the Peace Hostel Sanjo. It's still located on the eastern side of Kyoto, just about a 10-minute walk from Glancet. Since check-in isn't until the afternoon, I'll head over there a bit later. I've been doing a lot of walking and exploring on this trip, but there's one popular stroll I haven't done yet in Kyoto, which is the Philosopher's Path. I've heard so much about it, and today seems like the perfect time to experience it for myself. The path stretches for about 1.2 miles, or 2 kilometers, along a quiet canal connecting Ginkakuji Temple in the north section of the path to the Nanzenji area in the south. The Philosopher's Path was named after Nishida Kitaro, a Kyoto University professor who was said to walk this route for daily meditation and reflection. Along the way, the path passes several smaller temples and shrines, including Honen Inn and Otoya Shrine. We'll stop to explore those as we go. Since I'll be switching hotels later and staying on this side of the city, I'll also spend some time exploring more of Gion. There's still a few spots I haven't seen up close yet, like Chawanzaka Street, known for its pottery and craft shops. But first, breakfast. No 7-Eleven pancakes and smoothies today. Instead, I found a Yayoi-ken restaurant just down the main road near the Glancet Hotel. It was around 7:30 in the morning, so the place was nice and quiet. I went for the pork cutlet and egg rice set, and it really hit the spot. a hearty start to the day. The next step is to find a bike and cycle my way to Ginkakuji Temple, the northern starting point of the Philosopher's Path. Ginkakuji, also known as the Silver Pavilion, is one of Kyoto's most serene and elegant temples. Built in the late 1400s, it was originally intended to be covered in silver, but that plan was never completed. A fortunate imperfection that helped inspire Japan's wabi-sabi aesthetic of finding beauty in simplicity and imperfection. The temple grounds are beautifully maintained with perfectly manicured gardens and calm, reflective ponds. As I made my way toward the exit, I came across a sign warning about snakes and caterpillars. Thankfully, I didn't encounter any. From this temple, I began recording a walking video that follows the route all the way down to Nanzenji Temple and its impressive Sanmon Gate. After exploring the Philosopher's Path, I made my way back toward Gion. It was around lunchtime when I got there, and I came upon a restaurant called Hagichario. The reviews online looked pretty good, so I decided to give it a try. I ordered the soba dipping noodles with tempura, and it turned out to be a great choice. After lunch, I wanted to check out Chawanzaka Street in Gion, which is known for its pottery and craft stores. Since Gion is always lively with visitors, I filmed a walking video along the way to capture the atmosphere. I'll link that video as well. From Chawanzaka Street, I continued west and came across a pottery shop called Tutansei Kawasaki. The store had a beautiful collection of handcrafted ceramics on display. If you're in the area and looking for a souvenir, you'll be able to find something here. I ended up purchasing a cup, something I would use to drink my tea or coffee. By this time, it was getting towards the mid-afternoon and close to the check-in time at the Peace Hostel Sanjo, so I made my way back to check out the next capsule stay. One of the first things that stood out about this place was its bright, spacious common areas. It had plenty of room to relax, work, or just hang out, and even featured a rooftop terrace and bar. I stayed in a mixed dormitory room, which had a secure area near the entrance where you could store small valuables in a safe and space to leave your larger luggage. The sleeping pods were simple but comfortable, each with a curtain for privacy. The shower area was clean and well organized with individual cubicles, and they also had separate showers reserved for women. On top of that, the hostel offered coin-operated washing machines and dryers, which is always handy for travelers on longer trips. So after doing a bit of laundry and freshening up, it was time for some dinner. Right next to the hotel, I found a izakaya restaurant called Ayo, and it had a 4.8 star rating. Something so close to the hotel and so highly rated, I had to give it a try. This izakaya has a lot of skewers on their menu. As usual, I started with a beer and then ordered a bunch of skewers. I can't remember all the skewers I had, but there was a mochi and spiced cod roe skewer. I wasn't used to that flavor combination, but it went well with the beer. The crumb shrimp and oysters were tasty, but I didn't want to overdo it with the deep fried items. Had to get some greens in, and these cucumbers were perfect. They had a great crunch and tasted like they were marinated in sesame oil. The freshness from the cucumber was definitely welcomed. I also got a noodle dish that came with an egg. The runny egg really elevated the dish. It wouldn't have been the same without it. After dinner, I settled back into the hotel and took it easy for the rest of the evening. Tomorrow will be my last full day in Kyoto, and I want to explore some areas that you would not usually visit when in a group. The kind of places best discovered when you're traveling solo. Today, I'm visiting a few places in Kyoto that I've never been to before. These spots may not appear on the typical must-see list for most visitors, not because they aren't interesting, but simply because Kyoto has so many famous attractions that often steal the spotlight. The first location is Kurama, which is way up north of Kyoto. From there, I'll be hiking through the ancient forest trail that leads to Kibune, a peaceful mountain village. After that, I'll stop by Hiragino Dam, a local favorite for cooling off during the warmer months. And for the final stop, things are going to heat up, quite literally. Let's just say, if you're not careful, you might lose a few eyebrows. On the way out of the hotel this morning, the glowing neon sign in the lobby caught my eye, and it was a nice little message to start the day. The Kurama to Kibune trail lies in the mountains north of Kyoto. Unfortunately, I won't be able to cycle all the way there, since the loop bike network doesn't extend that far. Instead, I'll ride to Demachi Yanagi Station and take the Aizen Kurama line, which winds its way through the northern hills and ends at Kurama Station, the final stop. From there, the trailhead is just a short walk away. I'll follow the path through the ancient cedar forest, visiting shrines and soaking in the peaceful mountain atmosphere as I make my way toward Kibune. Before getting too far ahead, I needed to grab some breakfast to start the day. There was a loop station nearby, conveniently located right next to a family mart. I picked up a bottle of tea and a sandwich, and joined a few locals sitting inside for a quick bite. One of the nice things about solo travel is the freedom to keep things simple. A cheap, cheerful breakfast that's quick, easy, and gets you ready for the next adventure ahead. After finishing my family mart breakfast, I hopped on a bike and made my way to Demachi Inagi Station. One thing I noticed right away is how short these station platforms are here. The little trains that stop here look like they've come right out of a storybook. Once the train began to move, I sat back and watched the city slowly drift past the window. The view gradually shifted from streets and houses to lush woodlands and mountain landscapes as we traveled further north. Stepping out of Kurama station, I was greeted by a towering Tengu statue, the mythical long-nosed guardian of the mountains. Seeing the Tengu statue immediately set the tone for the day. I knew there'd be plenty of fascinating sights ahead on the trail to Kibune. I filmed the entire walk from Kurama Station all the way to the rear Kifune Shrine in the Kibune area, capturing the forest paths, temples, and mountain atmosphere along the way. I'll link that video as well. Not long into the walk, I had an unexpected encounter. A deer calmly trotted along the trail. It felt like a magical moment, especially after learning later that deer sightings are actually quite rare in this area.
Yeah, you shine like a ray of light, cutting darkness out of my life. I'm alright again, like a child again. Now the universe is a wonder. I don't care where we go, don't care what we do, as long as you're with me and I'm with you. I couldn't see colors, it was all in gray, till you showed me every shade. Now I feel like summer on a rainy day, like there's nothing left in my way.
At around 1 hour, 19 minutes and 26 seconds into the walking video of the trail, I noticed something moving near my feet, a spider with incredibly thin and delicate legs. It instantly reminded me of the soot sprites from Spirited Away. If anyone knows what kind of spider this is, let me know in the comments. The trail eventually leads down to the Kibune River, where you'll find a row of restaurants built directly above the water, offering one of Kyoto's most unique dining experiences. These riverside platforms, known as kawadoko, are especially popular during the warmer months, so if you plan to try them, it's best to make a reservation in advance. After reaching Kibune, the real challenge was figuring out how to get back. It was around lunchtime and crowds of visitors were pouring in. The narrow road quickly became congested. Since there were no lift stations in the area, I headed down to the nearest bus stop, hoping to catch a ride back towards central Kyoto. But after checking the schedule, I realized it would take well over an hour between waiting for the bus and the slow ride through the traffic. So instead, I decided to grab a taxi and head straight to the nearest loop station, where I can pick up another bike and start moving toward my next destination. During the taxi ride, I started looking up places for lunch near where I'd be dropped off. My search came across a spot called Mitoshiro Handmade Jubari Soba. The reviews looked good, so once I arrived, I grabbed a loop bike and made my way there. It was a cozy little shop run by a friendly couple. I ordered a mushroom soba dish and it tasted healthy but in a delicious way. The noodles tasted freshly handmade and the mushrooms had that perfect chewy crunchy texture. It was light, satisfying, and just the right kind of meal to keep me going. After lunch, I hopped back on the bike and started cycling through the quiet neighborhood streets toward my next stop.
If you've ever been curious about how some locals beat the Kyoto heat during summer, you'll definitely want to see what's coming up next. I really enjoyed cycling through Kyoto, and before I knew it, I had arrived at my next stop, and it was magnificent. Tucked away in the northwest corner of the city lies Hiragino Dam, where the water spills gently over the edge in a shimmering curtain, more soothing than dramatic. It's quite accessible from downtown Kyoto, and on a warm summer day, you'll often find locals and visitors here relaxing by the stream. The water is shallow and is a perfect natural escape from the city heat. I didn't bring a change of clothes, but I couldn't resist. I kicked off my shoes and socks and stepped into the cool flow of the Kamo River. Tiny fish darted around my feet as the water rushed gently past, refreshing and revitalizing after a long ride. It's not deep at all, which is why you often see families out here splashing, relaxing, and enjoying this quiet slice of Kyoto. Next time, I'll definitely bring a change of clothes so I can actually float around and enjoy the river properly. Before heading back to the hotel, I had one more stop in mind where I could hopefully grab some dinner. I didn't have a reservation, so I was hoping to just walk in and see if they could fit in a solo traveler like me. This restaurant is called Menbaka Fire Ramen, located right in the heart of Kyoto. It's a popular spot with visitors, and while the ramen itself is delicious, the real draw is the fiery experience that comes before your meal is served. The seating in the restaurant faces inward toward the open kitchen, giving everyone a front row seat to the fiery action. The chef dramatically pours burning oil over the ramen, sending up a burst of flames you can actually feel from your seat. Definitely one of the most unique dining experiences you can have in Kyoto. After watching the first few bowls burst into flames and feeling the heat from where I was sitting, I started getting a bit nervous about how close my bowl was to the camera. So I tried to shuffle it a little farther away, but the chef noticed, and with a grin, he slid it right back even closer to the lens. Luckily, everything turned out fine in the end. One of the first things you'll notice are these selfie sticks hanging alongside the kitchen utensils and pans. The team here clearly knows the guests want to capture the experience, so they've set up holders for every seat to get the perfect angle. Just hand your phone to the staff and they'll happily mount it for you, ready to record your face glowing as bright as the flames when the chef pours that fireball over your ramen. And when I say your face will glow, I'm not kidding. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. Just follow the instructions. They do this every day. Still, probably best not to try this one at home. Today was incredible. From walking through the ancient forest of Kibune to cooling off in the Kamo River at Hiragino Dam, and finally getting my face nearly set on fire before enjoying a bowl of ramen. Only in Kyoto could you experience such a wild contrast in a single day. Tomorrow, I'll be heading to Osaka, the final stop on this solo journey in Japan. I've really enjoyed my time here in Kyoto, but I'm just as excited to see what adventures Osaka has waiting next.
This morning, I'll be saying farewell to Kyoto and making my way to Osaka. The train ride takes less than an hour, so it's a quick and easy journey between the two cities. I've booked a stay at the first cabin capsule hotel in Namba, though it'll be too early to check in when I arrive into Osaka. So I'll drop off my luggage at reception and head out to explore. With my luggage handed over to the hotel, I wanted to start things off with some breakfast. Since I was thinking of visiting some of the department stores, I was searching for a nice spot for coffee and breakfast nearby. After a bit of researching, I came across the Roasters Coffee Shinsaibashi. It was located close to the department stores like Parco and Damaru and had pretty good reviews. As you step into the cafe, there is a staircase leading to the seating area upstairs. I arrived just after it opened, so the place was calm and quiet. And I managed to snag the best seat by the window. I didn't have any fixed plans in Osaka today, so it was nice to just slow down and take my time. When my order arrived, a red bean-filled taiyaki paired with a fresh cup of coffee, it instantly put a smile on my face. The taiyaki's crispy edges and warm, sweet feeling went perfectly with the coffee. Honestly, if more cafes served this combination, I'd make it my morning ritual. I'll definitely come back here again. With breakfast done, I wandered off toward the department stores and boutiques along Shinsaibashi shopping street, ready to see what else the morning had in store. I came across this no-face coin bank and it was too cool not to stop and check out. You feed it coins and no-face eats them. But true to character, he doesn't take one at a time. Instead, he swallows an entire stack in one go.
My mind's out of balance. Heartbeats irregular. Kinda thought we'd work it through. Large beat, tears streaming down. I'm here but already moving on. You care, then you kill it better. It's never gonna feel right.
That taiyaki and coffee from earlier was starting to wear off and I was getting hungry again. I spotted a sushi train restaurant nearby with a small line that seemed to move quickly and figured this was the perfect spot for lunch before the line gets any larger. All the dishes were very nice. Another healthy but tasty meal in Japan. It wasn't quite time to check into the hotel yet, so I decided to head over to Kuromon Market for a look around. On the way, I walked through Dotonbori, still lively even during the day.
Oh, feels so good from a distance. I don't talk and you'll never listen. Trust me, it's as hard for me too. I know, you know. My mind's out of balance. Heartbeats irregular. I had to make my own rules.
Kuromon Market is home to around 150 to 180 stalls, selling everything from fresh seafood and premium meats to fruits, sweets, and street food. It's often called Osaka's kitchen, a title it's earned after decades of supplying ingredients to the city's top restaurants and home cooks alike.
Already moving on. You care, then you'll care it better. It's never gonna feel right. Maybe it's a matter of time.
As it was getting close to check-in time, I made my way back to the hotel. This place has a modern design, much like the Glanced Hotel in Kyoto, but with a bit more room to stretch out. This capsule comes with a small private area beside the bed, giving it the feeling of having your own mini room, though it's still open to noise, with just a sliding curtain for privacy. The shower area is clean and well maintained, and they also provide coin-operated washers and dryers for guests. Before entering the capsule pod area, you'll find a shoe locker section where you swap your shoes for slippers, a nice touch that keeps everything tidy and quiet. After freshening up at the hotel, I decided to head out and explore Shinsekai, Osaka's retro playground full of bright lights, old arcades, and vintage charm. This is one of Osaka's most colorful districts, and with its famous Tsutenkaku Tower and lively backstreets, I thought it'd be a perfect place to film a walk-in video, which I'll link below. Some of you might remember older photos of Shinsekai, featuring the iconic pufferfish lantern that once hung outside Zubaraya, the city's legendary fugu restaurant founded in 1920. Sadly, the restaurant permanently closed in September 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic, and with it, the beloved lantern, one of Shinsekai's most recognizable symbols, was taken down. Standing here and looking around this corner, you really get the feeling that the pufferfish lantern was the missing piece of this spot. It tied everything together. Speaking of lanterns, if you head further south from Shinsekai, you'll find another giant sea creature lantern that's a little less famous, but just as radiant and full of character. It might not be as cute as a pufferfish, but it's definitely worth a visit. Along the way, we'll pass through a neighborhood with an interesting history. Up ahead, the rows of white lanterns mark the entrance to Tobita Shinchi, one of the few remaining operational red light districts in Japan that still preserves its pre-war character, complete with Taisho-era architecture and the old-style tea house system, where women sit in the entrances to greet potential clients. The area here values privacy, so filming along the streets where these traditional tea houses still operate isn't permitted. Security staff monitor the neighborhood and will politely stop anyone attempting to use the camera. So at this point, I had to switch mine off as I cycled through the area. Just beyond the southern edge of Tobita Shinchi is the lantern I mentioned earlier, a giant red octopus, marking the entrance to a takoyaki restaurant called Achichi Honpo. For those who aren't familiar, takoyaki are round, bite-sized balls made from a savory batter, cooked in a special molded pan, each filled with a tender piece of octopus. The takoyaki here is delicious. Just be careful as they can be quite hot inside, but they are packed with flavor. If you ever find yourself in this part of Osaka, I would recommend trying these balls. On the way back, I cycled around Tobita Shinchi, and it was fascinating to see how the area has an artificial boundary marked by rows of white lanterns, subtly defining the edge of the red light district. I managed to grab one quick photo from outside the lantern zone to give you an idea of what the streets look like, in case you're ever curious. Since my hotel wasn't too far from Dotonbori, I decided to swing by and check out the nightlife. When I arrived, the place was packed. Bright neon signs reflecting on the canal, crowds everywhere, and that unmistakable Osaka energy in the air. To capture the atmosphere, I filmed a walking video through Dotonbori, which I'll link below. Before calling it a night, I decided to grab a dessert, and this melon bread stall caught my attention.
They were serving freshly baked melon bread, still warm from the oven, with a thick slab of ice cream sandwiched inside. I couldn't resist. It turned out to be the perfect way to end the evening. No regrets about that sweet treat. Tomorrow, I want to explore as much of Osaka as I can, but I don't have anything booked. But we know by now how this solo trip works. No plan, just go. It's my last full day in Osaka and the final day of my solo trip before I fly out of Japan tomorrow. So today, I'm grabbing a loop bike to cycle around and explore as much of the city as I can. I'll start from Dotonbori and cycle a full loop around Osaka, stopping by shrines, traditional shops, and a few popular attractions along the way. From Dotonbori, I'll head south and check out the Namba Yasaka Jinja Shrine and the Osaka Kizu Wholesale Market. I was thinking of going all the way down south to Sumiyoshi Taisha, one of Japan's oldest Shinto shrines, before circling around the city and stopping along the way when I encounter something interesting. Eventually making my way up north to Osaka Castle and finally finishing back where I started. This morning, I'll be checking out of the first cabin capsule hotel, and later today, I'll move into my final stay for this trip, a small room at the Joytel Hotel, located right along the Dotonbori Canal. I've collected quite a few loose items over the journey, so for my last night, I wanted a room with enough space to spread everything out and pack comfortably before heading home. With a rough idea of the direction I wanted to go, I grabbed a loop bike and set out to start the day.
We stood close in the glittering lights. Shoreditch past all the neon signs. We both been waiting for this all night.
My starting point this morning is the iconic Episu Bridge in Dotonbori, right beneath the famous Glico Running Man billboard. It's one of Osaka's most photographed spots and a popular meeting point. Today, it'll also serve as the starting and finishing point for my cycling circuit around the city. Tucked away in the middle of Osaka's busy city streets is Namba Yasaka Jinja Shrine. Though the shrine itself dates back centuries, its striking modern feature, a massive lion's head stage, was built in the 1970s. According to legend, the lion's open mouth is said to swallow evil spirits, bringing good fortune to those who visit, especially in business, exams, and personal success. You don't come across a giant lion head shrine every day, so this was definitely an interesting and memorable place to start the journey. Just a 5-minute ride from the shrine is the Osaka Kizu Wholesale Market, a privately owned market in the Minami district that's been operating for over 300 years, making it one of Japan's oldest and largest privately owned wholesale markets. It supplies restaurants and shops across Osaka with fresh seafood, produce, and other essentials. Walking through the market, you'll find an impressive range of fresh and live seafood, each stall with its own character, and some even sharing stories about when and how their catch arrived that morning. The market wasn't too busy during my visit, but one stall stood out. A lot of people waiting for a taste of their oysters. And not just any oysters, these were massive, plump oysters. It was fascinating to see the variety of seafood on display, many types unique to Japan. From the market, I plan to continue south toward Sumiyoshi Taisha and find something to eat for breakfast along the way. The route was pretty straightforward, just one long road leading all the way down. After riding for a little while, I checked my Loop app, and to my surprise, an out-of-era warning popped up. I hadn't realized I'd socked out of the Loop service zone. It was a shame, as I was less than a mile away from the shrine. So I turned around and headed back into the service area. I needed to rethink my route, but first breakfast. I hadn't eaten yet, and this seemed like the perfect time to find a cozy place to recharge. I searched for nearby cafes, and as luck would have it, I found one called Cozy Coffee Spot. I couldn't have asked for a place with a more fitting name to have breakfast. From the outside, you could easily walk past this cafe if you didn't notice its cool retro coffee sign. But once inside, it had such a relaxed vibe. Cozy lighting, fun artwork on the walls, and a few quirky touches that made it feel like the perfect spot to sit back and enjoy a coffee. One of their paintings caught my eye. It said their coffee and burgers were made with love, so naturally, I had to try both. While waiting for my order, I pulled up the Loop app to work out a new route within the service area. Heading toward Osaka Castle looked fine, but I'd have to tighten the route a bit for the rest of the ride. When the burger arrived, it looked like a towering piece of art, stacked high and perfectly balanced. As I was admiring it, the coffee came out, and I instantly felt that rerouting my journey to this spot was meant to be. Now, burgers can be tricky. Sometimes half of it ends up slipping through your fingers while taking a bite, but they handed me this paper sleeve to hold it in. I don't eat burgers often, but this was the first time I'd been handed a sleeve with a burger. Genius move. It made eating so much easier, and by the end, the sleeve had caught all the burger juice. The perfect dip for my fries. The coffee was excellent too. Definitely a place I'd come back to if I were ever in the area again. After a very satisfying breakfast, it was time to hop back on the bike and continue my circuit around Osaka. Tucked away on a quiet street in Osaka is Abeoji Shrine, a peaceful sanctuary where visitors come to pray for protection from evil, for good health, and recovery from illness. Within the temple grounds stand 5 ancient camphor trees and 1 enoki tree, all officially designated as preserved trees by Osaka City. Each sacred tree is wrapped with a shiminawa, a thick twisted straw rope adorned with shide, the zigzag-shaped white paper strips that mark the presence of a kami, or spirit. Not far from Abeoji Shrine, you will find the Abeno Seme Shrine, which honors Japan's legendary astrologer to the imperial court. The shrine was established in the year 1007, and according to legend, Seme's mother was a fox spirit named Kuzunoha. Because of this connection, Seme is often depicted with fox imagery, and visitors sometimes bring fox charms to the shrine for good fortune and protection. Continuing along the circuit, I came across a traditional Japanese confectionery shop called Naniwa Mochi. The sweets inside the store were beautifully displayed, each one perfectly packaged with care and precision. Their offerings changed with the seasons, and when I asked the shopkeeper what their most popular item was, she smiled and pointed to the pineapple mochi.
The mochi was soft and delicate, with the pineapple inside fresh and juicy. I could have easily eaten 3 more of those. Maybe next time. Cycling further along the route, I arrive at Kei Itakuen Garden. A beautiful Japanese garden featuring a large central pond with a floating island and several traditional bridges. It's located right next to Shinsekai, so from there I'll continue toward the Sutenkaku Tower, weaving through the crowds and just enjoying another ride through the streets of Japan. After all that cycling, I was getting pretty hungry. A quick search led me to a place known for its charismatic chef, a bit of a local legend with a cooking style that's as entertaining as it is unique. Izakaya Toyo is located in Osaka's Miyakojima district, just east of the city center, tucked along a quiet street only a few minutes walk from Kyobashi Station. It's a classic tachinomi, or standing bar. There are no seats, just lively counters and crates where people gather to enjoy fresh seafood and self-serve drinks in a buzzing, friendly atmosphere. This restaurant is famous for its fiery blowtorch performance, where the chef sears tuna cheeks right before your eyes, tossing them through the flames with his bare hands. I ordered the blowtorch tuna cheeks, and they tasted nice. The larger cuts were tender and juicy. The greens added a crisp freshness that tied it all together. It wasn't too crowded when I stopped by, so it turned into a really fun experience. A quick bite, a few photos, and another great memory before hitting the road again. About a 7-minute ride from Izakaya Toyo brought me to the impressive grounds of Osaka Castle. Originally built under the orders of legendary warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi in the late 1500s, the castle stood as a powerful symbol of unity and ambition. Though it's been destroyed and rebuilt several times throughout history, it still rises proudly today, perched above its wide moat and surrounded by massive stone walls, each block hand-placed more than 400 years ago. After hours cycling around Osaka, I finally rolled back into Dotonbori. Seeing the crowds, the signs, and hearing the noise again, the energy here is always strong. I had booked a stay at the Joytel Hotel, located right along the Dotonbori Canal. While it's a step up from the capsule hotels, the room isn't much bigger, but it was exactly what I needed. A little extra space to spread out, pack up, and get ready for my flight tomorrow. Around Dotonbori, there's no shortage of great places to eat. Since I hadn't made any dinner reservations tonight, I didn't want to miss out on a memorable meal, especially with it being my last night of the trip. I found an unagi or eel restaurant called Hozenji Yamakazu that was located along the cobblestone pathway of Hozenji Yokocho. This alley captures the spirit of old Osaka and is just steps away from Dotonbori. I was hungry from all that cycling, so I was ready to have an early dinner. The reviews looked great and I really enjoyed eating eel here in Japan. I thought if I tried getting a seat not long after they opened for their dinner service that they could fit me in, even though I didn't have a reservation. I got a seat at the counter as usual, with an ice cold beer to start things off. There was a vinegared octopus dish on the menu that caught my eye, so I decided to start with that. The octopus was tender, and the pickled ginger on top added a refreshing, tangy kick, a perfect way to begin the meal. But what I was really looking forward to was the main course, a grilled eel and salmon roe rice bowl. The eel was beautifully grilled, rich, slightly smoky, and wonderfully tender from the fat. Breaking that glossy egg yolk and letting it spread was every bit as satisfying as it tasted. The salmon roe added bursts of briny flavor with every bite, and the silky egg custard on the side rounded everything off perfectly. It was an incredibly satisfying dinner, one of those meals that makes you appreciate how good food can be. Since I was staying along the canal, I decided to enjoy the rest of the evening in Dotonbori.
Cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws.
And for those wondering if I went back for another melon bread with ice cream, of course I did. I'm not sure when I'll be back in Osaka, so I couldn't leave without having one last taste. Tomorrow is my last day and I'll be making my way to Kansai Airport, and I still need to finish packing. For now, the packing can wait. I just want to enjoy this little treat before wandering back to the hotel. It's day 10 and the final day of this solo journey. This morning, I will be making my way to Namba Station and catching the limited express train to Kansai International Airport. The past 10 days have been amazing. Starting all the way back from the Shibuya Crossing in Tokyo, it seemed just like yesterday. But looking back, I can recall so many things I've seen and done. If I had any tips to share for those of you watching that want to do your own solo journey in Japan, I would say definitely try cycling to your destination. After cycling through Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, any one of these cities are great places to explore on a bike. If you travel light and prefer to stay in popular or central locations, you may want to consider staying at a capsule hotel for a cheap and cheerful option. Some capsule hotels offer more personal space and privacy than others, so if this is a concern, just keep that in mind and see what is on offer. After tapping my pass at the platform gate in Namba Station to catch the limited express train to Kansai Airport, I quickly learned that you also need to purchase a reserved seat ticket. Just tapping in isn't enough. The conductors do make their way through the carriages to ensure every occupied seat has a reservation. If not, they'll ask you to purchase a reserved seat ticket from the counter or ticket machines before you board. Luckily, I arrived early and had plenty of time, but a few passengers weren't as fortunate and ended up missing the train. And of course, this being Japan, the train leaves exactly on time, with or without you. Looking back, there were so many unforgettable moments on this trip. The people I met were incredibly friendly. And the food and culture, just amazing. Some of the highlights for me were strolling through the temple in Otagi, surrounded by hundreds of unique stone statues, and reading the heartfelt message from the head priest and sculptor who created them. Another was walking the ancient trail from Kurama to Kibune and unexpectedly crossing paths with a deer. It was a pleasant surprise in such an amazing setting. There were so many incredible experiences along the way. I could go on forever. Oh, and I almost forgot. Back in Kyoto, when I was wandering through Gion, I picked up a bobblehead blind box. I hadn't opened it yet, so had no idea which bobblehead has been traveling with me all this way. They're all fun options, but if I had to choose, I was hoping for either the bouncing heads from Spirited Away or No Face, who's been mysteriously appearing throughout this trip, just like in the movie. I figured if I got the bouncing heads, I'd have to buy more blind boxes to try and get a set of 3. But as it turns out, it's No Face. Looks like he's been following me all along on this journey. For those of you who have watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did sharing it with you. If you'd like to see more from this trip, I've linked all the walking and stationary videos in the description below, so you can experience these moments in more detail. And if you'd like to follow along on future adventures, please consider subscribing. It would be appreciated. Thanks again for watching.